Hey guys, welcome to Cooking With You. My name is Chan, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a Southeast Asian dessert called Pandan coconut sticky rice. Alright, so for this recipe, you're gonna need 2 cups of shredded coconuts, 16 pandan leaves. So there's probably some fresh pandan leaves in the grocery store that you'll see, but frozen is fine. I'm using frozen here. And then you'll need 1 cup of sugar. I'm using brown sugar here. 1 can of coconut milk, which is 400 milliliters. 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm using Himalayan pink salt. 2 teaspoons of pandan extract just for coloring. This is completely optional since we already have the pandan water. 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame seeds for the garnishing. And 3 cups of sticky rice soaked for at least 2 hours in water. So when you're soaking the sticky rice, make sure that it's submerged in water, which is at least 1 inch of water above the rice. And this is not any regular rice, it has to be sticky or glutinous rice for this recipe. Next, for the pandan leaves, we're going to be cutting them up into pieces about 2 inches each. This is to prepare for the pandan water that we're going to make. With the chopped pandan leaves, we're going to put it in the blender with 1 cup of water. Make sure to blend it all up very well. And finally, if there are any pieces on the side, just push them into the center with a spatula, then blend once more. Next, we're gonna strain the pandan leaves. So the reason why the pandan water is so crucial in this recipe is because it gives such a sweet and herbal taste that is pretty distinctive. You can't find anywhere else. So the pot that you see here is a traditional sticky rice pot that normally Southeast Asians use. It's used with a basket and then with the lid on top to steam the sticky rice with water. If you don't have one, you can simply use a steamer with a tea cloth and put the rice on top of that. In the pot, I poured in 1 liter of water. And the water from the sticky rice, we're just going to drain it into the pots just to repurpose the water itself. So I'm going to put the basket in, and I'm going to take the coconut milk and apply it to the basket in the inside where the rice is going to be so that it doesn't stick to the basket. An important note when you're using the sticky rice pot, especially with the woven basket, is that you need to soak it in water first before. Otherwise, if you're cooking it dry, there's a chance that it could burn. Now with the water boiling, we're going to be adding the rice into the basket for about 20 minutes so that the rice is 90% cooked. So this is with the lid on. Just make sure that you avoid opening the lid as much as possible, as this hinders the cooking process. Now that our 20 minutes is up and the rice is about 90% cooked, we're going to form a ball in the basket so that we can easily remove it from the basket itself and set it aside to cool off a bit. The process of forming it into a ball is completely optional. It's just a fun portion that we like to do. But if you don't have this sticky rice pot and you're using a steamer, you can just simply remove the rice from the steamer and let it cool off on the side. Now on a large pot on medium-high heat, we're going to be incorporating all of our ingredients, starting with the coconut milk and then the sugar. We're now going to add the pandan water. Followed with the salt. And the pandan extract. So here I use 1 teaspoon, but I'm going to be adding some more later on. And then we're going to stir it up all well so that the sugar and everything is dissolved and combined together. So here you're going to see that I added 1 more teaspoon of pandan extract onto my spatula because it wasn't the green color that I wanted. So now that it is, we're just going to stir it up a little bit more and then let it all dissolve and combine together and come to a boil. Once it's boiled, as so, you can reduce the heat to medium-low heat, and then we're going to be adding the sticky rice into the mixture. We're going to follow it up with the shredded coconut, so we're just going to be using half of it, and the other half, which is 1 cup, is going to be used for garnishing. So the goal here is that we're going to mix it all up until the rice fully absorbs the water. And how you would know is when you scrape at the bottom of the pan and there's no residue of water remaining. Now in a large pan, we're going to be setting it aside to cool, and by so we're just going to put it in the pan and then flatten it all out. So just make sure that there's no airy space or bubbles in between by patting it down with your spatula. And the goal here is that we're going to let it cool completely before cutting, otherwise it's just going to fall apart. And by so you should leave it outside for a good 2 hours until it cools down completely. So once it's all patted down, we're going to garnish it a little bit with the toasted sesame seeds. So we're going to sprinkle it all over just to make sure that there's no empty spaces. Now once it's been cooled off after the 2 hours, we're going to cut it into pieces. Here I'm cutting them into squares. So now we're going to plate it. We're just going to be putting some of the remaining coconut shredding on top, and then you're ready to serve. So here you go guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and this recipe. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and if you have any recipes that you'd like me to cover, please comment in the comment section down below. Alright, have a great day guys!